In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a heavy Reese bass. I'll take you through the full process on Serum, and I'll show you some external post-processing as well. Let's get straight into it. Let's start with an initialized preset. So to make a Reese bass, it's really simple. You're just going to focus on one oscillator and then the unison, the detune, and then some post-processing. So let's listen to the signal. So that's me just playing an E. So let's put the octave down 1 to start with. Now this kind of shape will give you a heavy sound, so we can just leave it on default for now. An alternative option is to put it on MCB here, which gives a slightly smaller shape, and this is quite good as well. So let's listen to this. And now what we want to do is increase the unison by 4. And already we've pretty much got a Reese bass sound, like a heavy Reese bass sound. So this is going to be your bass for like all your heavy Reeses. Now let's look at the detuning. So this will increase the unison depending on how much. So if it's all the way at 0, like the unison is not really doing anything, as you can see by this graph. And the more you increase it, the wider it gets. And now because it's on max right now, it sounds completely out of key. So let's try something around that point. You can experiment with this later on. And then we can change the blend a little bit as well. Now let's look at applying a filter. So we don't want any of the high frequencies of the Reese to come through this. So let's cut some of it out. Around about there sounds good. Now let's increase the drive and the fat a little bit so that we get a little bit of a heavier sound coming through. Now let's look at the post-processing. So we're going to want distortion, obviously, and good settings to use for this: hard clip, diode 1, and diode 2. Now in this case I'm going to use diode 1 because I thought that sounded heaviest. And let's just increase the drive. And let's turn the mix down a little bit because we don't always want the full mix coming through for these. Now let's add a compressor and turn multiband on. And let's just increase the gain. Now we've got that full sound coming through. So let's experiment a little bit with the octave. So this is the octave it's currently at. Let's try a deeper one. So where you want it to play is entirely up to you. Both sound pretty good to me. Reese basses like this sound great at the end of a section in a drop, and sometimes they work in intros as well. If we have a look at the wavetable here, we can also make brand new sounds by picking different ones. So if I pick basic shapes here, and then we get an LFO and shape this, we can create new sounds. And these can be used for basses, for drops, etc. It's worth just having a look through all the sounds and seeing what you come up with, and then adjusting this wavetable position as well. And just get creative with it. So let's put it back on what it was before, which was this one. So let's look at some post-processing. So if you want to get your Reese to sound even crazier, it's all in the post-processing. So you've got to experiment with lots of different plugins. I normally start with an OTT first, so let's have a little play here. And then I might try something like a decimort. And then maybe like a camel crusher. And then let's try a satin. And let's also try adding some reverb in another channel. And then let's apply this reverb to it. And then we'll just adjust the settings. So let's turn the decay right down and the mix down a little bit. That just adds more depth to it. Now let's see. Now I recently got this new plugin called RC20, which I think is pretty cool. So let's have a look at this. So with all this post-processing on, it's gone from sounding like this to this. What a crazy difference. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see from me in the future. Check out my website. There's lots of sample packs and courses to get your hands on. And I'll see you all in the next one.